I'm going to start very, very simple, short topic with roots of sickness. See, God made us body, soul, and spirit. And sickness can come through any of those avenues, through our spiritual thing, a demonic thing, through our soul, our mind, our will, our emotions. Our mind and our emotions, our memories can be affected, can be tormented, can be heavy. And our body can become sick naturally as well. If you fall over and trip, you can break a bone. That's a natural condition or situation that's happened in our bodies, just in the natural. But what usually happens when people are dealing with issues that aren't healing naturally in the body is there can be a combination of these things at play. So you might say, well, the doctor said I've got such and such a condition. And so all you're doing is looking at it from a natural position of, I've got a disease of arthritis, for example, and it's inflammation. Oh, well, maybe if I stayed off all sugar and all dairy and all wheat, the inflammation, and did exercise, the inflammation might go. But sometimes a condition could start in the natural. So you could have been exposed to asbestos or a poison, or fallen over, or have had a really bad diet or lots of stress. So it could be a natural root or beginning. But what can often happen is other areas can kick in. Your emotions and your mind become affected, often when you've been under a lot of stress or pain for a lot of time. But also spirits can take advantage of us too. If we start grumbling and complaining when there's a lot of pain, when we're talking about the pain a lot, other spirits that could have a voice or an expression through you can lock in those pains. The most obvious example I see in the prayer queue is if there's been a car accident and people have whiplash. So let's say there's a car accident, two people are in the car and they both have whiplash. And one person might heal naturally from that whiplash within the month. So there's natural healing in the body for a natural thing. But the other person 10 years down the track might still have that pain and that restriction as though the accident just happened that week. And what's the difference? One thing to look for, very common, that John and I would always pray for, and I learned this early in my walk, even before I'd met John and I was searching for healing, when I came into a Christian church and they were praying for the sick. And I'd had a fall many, many years before in this classroom. In these particular rooms, the cleaners had put a gloss on the science floors. And I came to take a roll one morning and it was like an ice skating rink, and I slipped and I fell really heavily on my hip and developed sciatica after that. There was a lot of pain. And that was before I was saved. So I took up things like yoga and was going to physio, various things to try and deal with this sudden pain I had. Then years down the track, when I was on my Christian journey, and this is before I met John, I had come into a Christian church. They were doing a prayer meeting, and it was actually in a Catholic charismatic meeting, and the priest who did see miracles had a word of knowledge. And so when I told him, I've had a heavy fall on my hip, and I've had on and off sciatica pain since then, he said, I rebuked the spirit of shock, and it left immediately. And so from then on, I've been aware of, spirits can take advantage of you from, moments of shock and trauma, but also grief, any challenges, lots of stress. Spirits can look to take advantage of you. So it could have started as a natural thing, as the hip did, but a spirit can come on you at that time. Now, when spirits take advantage of you in moments of weakness, when you're tired, when you're stressed, when you've gone through a trauma or a shock accident, they don't have a strong right to you because they've taken advantage of you. But sometimes there could be a generational curse or something you've done in the past. You might have made a declaration, just careless words like, you're a pain in the neck, oh, you're a pain in the... If you constantly do these sort of expressions, you're a pain in the backside, or, you're getting on my nerves, those are actually little self-curses that people don't realise. And when I first became a Christian, those little careless declarations, because I always used to say, you're getting on my nerves, you're a pain in the... I used to say those all the time. But one of the first things God showed me when I first became a Christian was to tidy up my words. I was having to stop every couple of minutes, and I just feel the conviction of God. What did I just say? I just cursed myself, sorry God. And to really have to reset a lot of those expressions. You know, people say, oh, this chocolate cake's to die for. No, no cake's worth dying for. You know, people think they're harmless expressions, but the devil can use those things as, you just mean it as a joke or something light or a hackneyed expression to say. But the devil can take advantage of those things. So it's sort of, it sounds like you're sort of paranoid, like we should just sit home and wait for Jesus to come, because it's just a dangerous world. Don't open your mouth too much because you don't know what careless thing you might say. But, you know, just for a time to monitor your words, or maybe even ask people who are close to you, do I ever say anything that seems like a negative confession? Because a lot of people do have a set saying, or a couple of sayings that put, you know, things that put themselves down, or speak negatively about themselves or other things, that are their blind spots because they've said them so long, they don't recognise that that's actually coming out as a negative and not really serving any purpose. So being mindful that even though a sickness might start in the physical realm, or emotionally, or through stress, you know, the mind or the emotions, the spiritual things come and attach and lock things in and create a stronghold. So just keeping that in mind about the roots of sickness. So you could be needing to pray on several levels. I don't know if you're watching my clips or seeing me pray, I come at everything as if the Spirit's come on it. I just find it faster. I come at everything as if there's a spirit that's come and taken advantage of someone, just really a shake, get off them, right? I'm rebuking. So it sounds like I'm, you know, telling the person off or rebuke. I'm just rebuking any spirit that might have taken advantage. But I do find that, as I said with John, talking about changing ears in the Spirit, you know, often I'll sort of pray in a normal speaking voice to start, but if I feel things aren't shifting, I will get sort of more of a righteous sort of anger in my voice, I suppose, more of a rebuking, and go a bit louder, and the things respond. So I just find, I used to be a school teacher, and kids respond when you raise your voice a little bit. So